Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Cuz Show. You know, they tease a little bit with the Cena turning heel thing.
Yeah, I don't think Cena's going to go heel. I think that basically what they do is, you know, if a crowd is more against them and they realize that, they're going to just do it for that crowd.
Yeah.
He's not going to go heel.
He kind of talked about it a little bit. If you guys didn't catch the Chris Jericho interview, it was a good interview. He talked a little bit about that in there. Pretty much made it seem like he's not going to turn heel anytime
No, he's not
soon.
going to turn heel, definitely.
But
it's not best for business.
Yeah, but even if you don't turn full heel, just his reaction to the crowd has been a lot better.
Yeah,
I think kind of embracing it more than just ignoring it,
right?
Which I like. So it gives him a good edge to his character. So he's been doing these open challenges also.
Yeah, that's been amazing. I love that he's doing that. It brings freshness and new matches to the table. It's refreshing.
When are you ever really gonna see like the Cena versus Stardust?
Right, exactly. Cena and Ambrose.
Ambrose,
you know
yeah.
What I mean,
that was also a very good match. One of Ambrose's best matches.
Exactly.
Cena. We also saw Brock Lesnar get suspended. His hostility towards a couple of the camera guy, Michael Cole, all that. It was a really good segment. Really good segment.
I loved every moment of it. I was at the edge of my seat.
Yeah, Brock Lesnar is very believable when he starts beating people up. It just looks real and it looks good. It was a good segment. And it's something that they had to do because you have to suspend him because you can't have him going after that title right now.
Right, and you know, with his limited dates and everything, I don't see him coming back until about maybe around SummerSlam.
Right. So they need to take him out of the picture for now. Do
you think he goes back to the title picture in SummerSlam, or do you think that he just faces someone totally different?
I think they might find something totally different for him to hold him off for now. Maybe leaning towards the title.
But he still has that rematch clause.
Yeah, but I
maybe
think
a triple threat.
I'm seeing him maybe even going for the title next WrestleMania, but maybe not getting it.
So get his rematch clause.
He'll get his rematch clause, but then I see something else happening where somebody will come in, take that attention off of the title for a little while, and then I see him going for it, possibly at WrestleMania. That's my personal predictions. But let's talk a little bit about the Jericho interview a little bit more. Anything stood out to you in that?
No, not really. I mean, well, except I thought it was very cool hearing the story about him hanging out with all the Japanese guys. I mean, that's a new story I haven't heard. Basically, everything else I basically have heard in many interviews of his.
Yeah, I liked hearing the personal stories between Jericho and Cena that they shared. I thought it was really cool that he just came straight out and asked him if he ever used steroids.
That actually was kind of shocking.
It's something that you usually don't hear. I mean, he's not going to say yes, even if he did, which right, exactly. I really don't think that Cena did. But I thought it was cool. And Jericho actually, on his recent podcast, he was saying he was getting a lot of flack for not asking hard enough questions.
On the podcast? But I mean, you can't ask the kind of questions when he has his freedom of his own show. I mean, he has, the WWE executives and, Vince McMahon that, got to make sure that it's PG friendly and whatnot. They definitely not going to let him just say whatever he wants.
Yeah, that's true. But at the same time, that's not really Jericho's style. Like he explains in the podcast, it's not really he's more of a conversation type podcaster, which is one of the things I like about him. He refers to himself as more as like a Johnny Carson, like an entertainer, not really like a hard hitting. He's not Oprah Winfrey.
That's what he is. He's an entertainer.
Yeah, he's an entertainer. Yeah. So he's there to have a conversation and to talk to you about like how he did with the stories about the wrestling and to share those stories and those fun times with people. And he's always been like that, and he's like that on his podcast. So for people who think that he's going to be different, he's going to ask these hard, questions, I don't know. You must not really pay attention to Jericho's.
Actually, I do not, and I apologize. I do not remember the name of the show, but he actually has some new comedy show on YouTube.
It's a web series called Nothing to Report. Interested in checking that out and seeing Jericho doing some acting. He's actually one of the wrestlers that I think should be doing more acting, not The Miz, but you know, hey, you want to go with The Miz? That's your thing. So it looks like Seth Rollins is going to be the type of champion that's just constantly getting out of
looking for ways. Yeah, but Randy Orton has other ways. Yeah, but Randy Orton has other ways of winning. I mean, he has the where he takes the guy to the rope and pins him down. That's like a finisher right there.
Yeah.
You know.
But this is all stuff that Seth Rollins has to do in order to really get a little bit of heat on him. But because the crowd does still semi like him.
Yeah, but so, like I said, he's gonna be like another Edge. He's gonna find every opportunity he can to win matches.
To try to win the matches and to keep the title as long as he can.
Also, we had Naomi, who came out and attacked Paige after her match because I heard that Paige is gonna be doing a movie with, I think, The Miz in some Christmas movie. I think. I mean, I don't know. I mean, why like we were discussing before, why do they
always put The Miz in movies? He's not even a good actor.
But we came to the conclusion that maybe
probably because he doesn't really wrestle that much, so they're not gonna lose out on that much money or that many dates having him miss him wrestling.
But that sucks though. That Paige is like so hot right now, and now you're gonna have her off for like a month.
Well, they're doing the same thing with Lana. She's just now really getting hot.
Yeah, but they kind of did that right. Like if they do that where like try to like rush her back or do something like that, that's what they need to do with her too. Like Lana, like what, maybe 1 or 2 weeks it felt like she was only gone.
Yeah.
So like
she's Summer Rae. Nobody, I don't really
Summer Rae.
I don't care about. She can stay gone.
I mean, I don't want to see Paige gone for even a week or two, just like I didn't want Lana. But I mean, unfortunately, that's what's gonna happen, and that's why she was attacked. And
they're doing this whole injury angle right now. So a couple of weeks ago, also we found out that AJ Lee announced her retirement.
Yes.
What were your thoughts on this?
I think it's about time. I mean, we won't be hearing those CM Punk chants anymore, ruining the matches.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have good Divas matches that I personally actually enjoy. And hearing those CM Punk chants
just ruins the match.
It's not just ruins; it's disrespectful.
Yeah, it is very disrespectful.
It's disrespectful.
So hopefully we won't have to hear those CM Punk chants anymore. I think it's great that she is retired. I think it's a stupid move for her, but
I think it's she did it because of some legal things that are going on between WWE's doctors and CM Punk.
And CM Punk, yeah. So it's something that kind of had to happen. But that's not to say that she can't show up anywhere else or on another wrestling.
No, she has to wait for her contract to end with WWE.
I don't know if you got a chance to check it out, but they have the Shiek on Netflix right now. You should really check it out. It's a documentary about the Iron Sheik. It's really cool. It really gets into his life, into the drug abuse. They follow him around with cameras, and they show all different ways that he had to try to get money when he was down. But it was a really good documentary. But some of the things were a little weird because they would actually film him going and buying drugs. Like he had a wire on him. So I thought it was a little weird. But they talk about, and then they talk about some of it might have been recreated. But there was a lot of original footage that was really good in there, as well as a lot of old footage. So you get to see him when he was younger. They talk about his wrestling background for Iran. Him working with the Olympic team in the U.S. And like I said, the drug abuse, and then his rise back to the top through social media, which you see his tweets on Twitter. He's hilarious. But so I saw those tweets. I'm like, that cannot be just him. So obviously the guy that's in the documentary, the family friend, is helping him out with them. He is retweeting stuff that the Sheik said, but are hilarious. So if you haven't followed the Iron Sheik on Twitter, you got it, because it's really funny. But so they show his rise back to the top, and it's a really good documentary. So if you haven't checked it out, I would definitely go check that out on Netflix while it's still on there.
I'm gonna have to watch that later.
Yeah.
I also want to mention that also after Raw on the WWE Network, they had like a first look at like behind the scenes of Ultimate Warrior, like with him being in the Hall of Fame and WrestleMania, and there was interviews and very emotional interviews from Triple H and Stephanie and even Vince McMahon himself, who gave like a minute or two speech before it came on. So if you haven't checked that out, go on the WWE Network and check that out. It was very interesting.
Yeah. It's time for Omega's recommendations for a match. So I want you guys to check out In Your House Final Four. This took place on February 16th, 1997. You saw this match with me actually, but you were probably half asleep. It was Owen Hart and the British Bulldog versus two semi-not really known people, Doug Furnas and Philip Lafon. It's two guys we started watching, we were like, who are these guys? They're nobody really. We thought it was going to be just a quick match. It was a good match and I definitely suggest you guys see it. Alright, well, thanks for watching the Cuz Wrestling Show. We'll check you guys out before the next pay-per-view. We'll go over our predictions for that.
Extreme Rules.
Extreme Rules. And don't forget to subscribe to Omega Man 2112. And here's your moment of bliss. Best tag team champions ever.
Yeah, right, sucker.